Talisman is Renault's replacement for both the Laguna and the Samsung-derived Latitude. It has excellent status-imbued exterior styling with smart proportions, detailing and stance. And most of that branch manager luxury vibe is carried over inside. But if you start pulling and prodding, the feeling of quality quickly disappears. It looks upmarket, but somehow lacks substance. Its name is supposed to symbolize the fact that it's a beacon in the Renault range, a beacon of quality, design and upmarketness. It is very well built for a Renault. For a Renault, that's not a rental, it's a Renault. It's not overly designed or overly styled, it's quite purposeful and very Teutonic or Germanic. Now, as pretty as the exterior may be, and as pretty as the interior may be at first glance, things aren't so great. Some of the places you touch feel very solid and properly screwed together, while others, like the center tunnel and the armrest, feel very flimsily put together. For instance, this button that you use to release this lid that hides the storage compartment underneath the armrest, it's very counterintuitive. If there's a lever here or a button, you usually have to pull up on it to open, whereas here, if you pull up, you'll just end up breaking it. Oh yeah, and the seats have zero lateral support. They are extremely wide, have no side bolstering whatsoever. This just seems like it's side bolstering, but it's really just part of the backrest. So if you do this, you're just going to move around. Another French quirk that this car has is the way you open the ski hatch in the back. You can, as I did, use your fist, or you can crawl through the gigantic cavernous trunk to access it from inside the trunk. I do like the wood though, it's very tasteful, and the overall design is very good. On the move, it's quite comfortable, especially this particular model that has adaptive suspension, which is now set in comfort mode, obviously. If you set the dampers to sport mode, you'll be jiggled around much more, and there's really no point to it in such a car. I think that even with adaptive dampers, cars like this should not have a sport mode because it's ridiculous. Yeah. Ouch. See? It's very comfortable. Have no problem absorbing the bumps. Here's another one. Very good. Very good. Tire roar seems to be quite present. I'm doing 90 kph now, and I can definitely hear the tires on the tarmac turning. The 4Control 4-wheel steering certainly makes its presence felt, especially at lower speeds when you're just trying to maneuver in and out of parking lots or tight spaces. You feel the rear of the car shift to the side. That's the best way to describe it. The engine is a downsized 1.6 liter turbocharged petrol engine that has 200 European horsepower, or about 197 of the brake variety. And while it may pull strongly in the likes of the Clio RS and the Megane GT, here in this heavier, bigger car, its responses are blunted. Sure, it still moves it along at a fair pace, you're not going to hold up traffic, and you can make the occasional quick getaway in this car, but it does not want to be hustled. I've talked about the engine, but the gearbox is worth mentioning too. It's a competent unit, and it shows that Renault has incrementally improved its dual clutch setup. And while it feels 5 years behind the best transmissions on the market, it's not in any way bad. It's the kind of car you just put in D and slowly make your way to your destination. And there's no need to opt for this engine. Really, the best choice is the 1.6 liter diesel, the twin turbo version, that has 160 Euro horsepower. The torque is accessible much lower in the rev range. You can get it with the same 7-speed dual clutch gearbox that this car has, and it's much more economical and well suited for this car's leisurely character. No me gusta. Just get the diesel. This engine doesn't even sound that well. It's whiny, it's wah in your face all the time. No thank you. This is definitely a wafty car. It's also a car not aimed at anyone who is in any way enthusiastic about driving. It's okay, it's not bad to drive, certainly. The steering response is sharp thanks to the aid of the rear wheels, but it's not really that engaging. It does lag behind the likes of the Skoda Superb, and while it does have more character and it seems to have been designed by people who like cars more than the Czechs do, it's not as well executed. Renault is trying to tempt buyers away from proper premium brands and offer them a car that, on the face of it, offers the exact same blend of qualities and gadgets that those cars offer. Yet at a price that is, well, it's not half price, but it's about 30-40% cheaper than an actual premium branded vehicle. As a low-level executive shuttle, it's good. It's pretty good.